Hello, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time we're going to be taking a look at what Hasbro Pulse had revealed during the live stream for Transformers Legacy Evolution, Studio Series Rise of the Beast, and Selects. Now, they did also bring up the 2-pack of Ironhide and Prowl, as well as the Trooper set of 4 figures, but we're not going to talk about that because it's basically what we already know about. So, let's go ahead and discuss, starting off with this Core Class 2-pack. Now, it is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, which yuck, but that's just how it is. This is a Core Class Bumblebee and Optimus Prime duo set. Now, these are reworks of figures that have been previously released, and the reason why I say reworks is because it's just slight touches, like the Bumblebee has more gray, the Optimus Prime has more white, and the colors might be slightly different. I don't know if the blue on the windows of Bumblebee is that bright, but essentially you are getting the same figures. The Bumblebee was released during the Buzzworthy Bumblebee lineup with a Spike Witwicky. Obviously the Spike Witwicky isn't here. And then the Optimus Prime is actually technically the very first Core Class figure to be released. But this set also includes a trailer. Now, you can fit Bumblebee in the back of it, which I thought was pretty cool. I imagine you could probably fit the Hot Rod as well as some other figures. Now, interesting enough, it seems like the trailer itself needs a hitch attachment for the Core Class Optimus Prime, despite the fact that there's already a peg hole on the back of that, but I guess that's just how it is. It does look nice. I do like the striping on the side there, as well as the Autobot symbol right there. Now, obviously, with the Optimus Prime trailer, you can open it up, and it does have the drone, which can fold up, which I thought was a very nice touch. And you can stand it up. You could also see that Optimus Prime not only includes the rifle, but he does include the axe that was seen in the Nemesis Prime pack. And I think it's a good setup. You also get Roller, which is not really shown in this image, but I believe he's in the next one. Yes, there he is. So you can attach Roller to the trailer, which I thought was a nice touch. As well, you can attach the drone setup and add that to the top of the trailer, or you can add that to Roller itself. So I thought this was a nice setup. It's not something that I feel like I have to go after because, again, I have Optimus and Bumblebee, so it's not something that I need. The trailer is a good setup, but otherwise, yeah, it's not something that I'm gonna miss out with the actual figures. So moving right along, we're going to take a look at the Generation Studio Series Rise of the Beast figures, and they're specifically talking about Rise of the Beast here. We've got the Deluxe Class Mirage. Now, we already knew that we were getting this. We saw the renders beforehand, so this is the actual physical figure itself, and I gotta say that the Porsche mode looks really good. I like the dark tinted windows. The wheels could use some painted rims, but I think the rest of it is painted fine. I do like the Porsche logo on the doors. I like the blue stripe going right to the back, and the spoiler is nice and big, as well as the headlights. It definitely looks like a Porsche to me. I like Porsches, so, you know, I'm into that. And then we take a look at the robot form, and this is where things get a little messy. The chest seems to stick out a little too far, and then you could also see the kibble kind of reminds me of the Revenge of the Fallen Jolt, with the doors on the side, and then the wheels, and everything going on in the back. But I will say some of the images and some of the turntable shots that we got during the live stream actually didn't make it look too bad. So I think this is something that you're gonna like in person more so than the images themselves. It also comes with the gun that I'm pretty sure will store inside the car mode itself. So I'm very curious about this, and this is the one that I'm still gonna go after. I'm not really a fan of that Rise of the Beast core line version of Mirage, so yeah, I'm into this. And then we take a look at, this is something that we've talked about for a while with listings, and we were still waiting to finally see it. This is the Leader Class Optimus Primal, and I'm really excited for this one. I know some people went after the Voyager, but I wanted to wait and see how the Studio Series would tackle it, and here we go. So, he looks very nice. He's very chunky. I like the texture of the shoulders as well as the chest. I think the head sculpt is nice. I'm not sure how I feel about the placement of the silver. I think it's probably a little too much in one spot and not enough to spread out, but otherwise, I think it's fine. Yes, the swords plug on the back, which is kind of a typical thing, but they kind of form blasters if you want to use that. Also, I believe the chain setup will tuck onto the back itself, as well as this included axe, which we'll mention in a second. He does have opening fist, which is basically the same hands that he uses in robot mode. I think the toes look nice. I know that's kind of a weird thing, but I think they look pretty good. And then he also comes with the key the transwarp key, which can split into 2 different parts, which I thought was a very nice touch, and it's probably the main reason why he has the opening hands in the first place. Anyways, moving on, we're gonna not take a look at that, we're gonna take a look at the robot mode for the Optimus Primal, and yeah, he looks really good. He looks kind of stoic, and I think they perfected the robot itself. Now, he does have a lot of back kibble, which I'll say is kind of unfortunate, but otherwise, when you're taking a look at the robot, I love the texture of the abdomens, the bulk of his arms still continue to actually blend well with the robot. I like how the legs extend. You can kind of see the 8 feet on the back just sitting there, but I think overall it's fine. Now, you do have the 2 blades that do attach with the chain. You can totally leave that chain off, and if you notice with the swords, it has a female and male peg, so you will be able to attach that as his dual blade, just as it is, shown in the movie, so that's good. And then he does come with the axe, and this is kind of an upgrade kit to the Optimus Prime. You'll be able to add that to him or to Bumblebee, depending on what scene you're trying to represent. So I thought that was a really good touch to throw that in, because that was something missing from the Optimus Prime, so I feel like I need to get that Optimus Prime to go with this, but let's go ahead and move on straight to the Legacy line. Again, technically. This is the core class Snarl. So we did see this beforehand, but they're finally showing it off, and it looks pretty good. It looks adorable. I don't think I would attach the blade at the bottom there. I would attach it to the top, considering the fact that he looks kind of awkward there. It looks like his feet won't really touch the ground, but I think the colors are nice. I like the red, gold, and silver. Yeah, he just looks pretty good, and I like the shape. It's that potato shape. And then we take a look at the robot mode, and I love how they got the tails on the shoulders. I think that looks very nice. The red looks good. He's got a tiny little sword, but at least he has that, so that's good. A lot of them didn't really come with accessories, so yeah. Yeah, black painted fists as well. I'm kind of surprised by that, and you can see how the head will be able to tuck into the legs. I think that this is probably the best core class Dinobot we've gotten so far. Or just in general, because they've shown all of them. Next up is Shadow Striker. This is the Cyberverse toy, and someone has it in hand and showed it off, so we're not going to talk too much about it, but it is obvious that this is going to be retooled into Sideburn, especially with the engine on top, unless this is just entirely a reference to the original Shadow Striker, which was actually a repaint of that Robots in Disguise Sideburn. I don't mind the gun on top. I think that looks fine, and I love the colors with this purple tint and the red windows. I think that blends well with the engine and then the wheels themselves, because you could see that outlined in red, so that looks pretty good. And then we take a look at the robot mode, and yeah, you could definitely see the Sideburn influence to that. Now, from what I saw, you don't have to take off the shield piece. You can leave that on, but you do have to detach the back bumper, which might be a little unfortunate, but whatever, not a big deal, especially considering that you could probably attach that to the front of the gun to make that crossbow from Sideburn. I think the head looks pretty cool. I think the chest is a little too wide, but otherwise, yeah, I don't necessarily mind the look. I think for a redesign of Shadow Striker, if you want to imagine it like that, yeah, this is totally fine. And then we take a look at Bombshell. This is the third and final Insecticon from the main 3, not in general. I know someone's going to say, well, actually, there's more. Yes, I know. But this is Bombshell in Assault mode. Again, this is another figure that we saw previously, so I'm not going to touch on it too much. But this is actually a rework of the shrapnel. You could definitely see that from the legs, but the front of it looks pretty cool. I love the gold eyes on the side there. And taking a look at the robot mode, I think he looks pretty cool. Yes, he's got this weird top hat thing, but that's something that Bombshell originally had, and you can fold that back further if you don't like that. So, yeah, I think it looks nice. I like the colors specifically here. I don't know why. They just really work for me. Maybe it's the amount of black. Maybe it's the faded purple. I don't know. I just really like it. So, taking a look at something that's actually brand new, this is the Robots in Disguise universe Strongarm, or technically the Aligned universe. But yeah, Strongarm is finally getting a toy again, and I thought that was pretty awesome for them to do, and I'm hoping that they dive more into the Robots in Disguise characters, maybe give us some characters that we never got toys of originally with the Warrior class. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I like how this turned out. I love the white and blue color scheme. It does look a little wide, but I think that actually really works for this toy. And it does come with a little pistol thing that you can attach to the side. I do like the sirens with the red and blue. It's a proper transparent color scheme with that. And yeah, I think the shape is totally fine. Now, when you take a look at the robot mode, you start to notice that it looks a lot like the Elita 1 and Minerva figure. That's because it is a retool of the Elita 1 and Minerva figure. So, the only thing I really don't like about that is it kind of slims down the Strongarm, which I feel like Strongarm needs to be kind of bulky. I also don't like the shoulders and how the front of the truck is just kind of hanging off there. Now, technically that is accurate to how she looks like in the show, but it should be attached to the actual shoulders themselves, not hanging off the top. And I will say that the head looks a little awkward here. It looks kind of out of place. Maybe it's a little too big, or it's just the specific design. But otherwise, I'm into it. You know, I'm not gonna say I hate it. I definitely don't. I think that the way the legs are designed is perfect for the toy. I like the remolded chest. I actually like the head design. I'm just not sure if I'm feeling it with this toy, but maybe in person it will look better. And I also like I just noticed the darker blue with the lighter blue on the arm, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a figure I'm interested in. If I find it, I'll get it. And then last for the deluxes, this is Detritus. So this is going to be a retool, or repaint I should say, of the Earth Mode Hound. And for those who don't know, this is originally an eHobby exclusive figure that was just a straight up repaint of the Hound figure from G1, just repainted in tan. Technically, this is also the first Decepticon Junkion figure, so it kind of works in tangent with that. But yeah, I really like the color scheme here. It's a little bright and a little flat in areas. It could use more for the paint, especially when you look at the front grille and everything's just tan, except for that gold engine block or whatever, and then the headlights there. But I kind of like that. It feels more like a toy, and I actually think that kind of works in this. I don't know how to explain it, but I do like the guns with the gold paint applications, and the wheels are painted with silver, so that looks nice. And yeah, this also gives us an idea of that Earth Mode Hound that we're still waiting on. But I think that looks pretty good. And then we take a look at the robot mode, and yeah, he just looks very nice. Again, the chest could use more colors, but I don't necessarily mind that. The thighs look like they've been yellowing, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. But I like the red and brown on the front of the legs, and I don't mind the weapons. Obviously, you could change it up because you could see the rocket on the back there. And yeah, I think he just looks nice. Now, I will note is he has a Decepticon symbol in the alt mode, but he has an Autobot symbol in the robot mode. I just wanted to point that out. But taking a look at the Voyager class figures, we've got Bludgeon. So this is going to be a repaint of the Tarn figure, and I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't decide to remake the chest into a different mold. I think it works, but I would like to see more of that skull shape. But this is another Pretender character that's getting a full-size figure, and I don't mind the sword. I think that looks good. I mean, yes, it's just attached to the side there, but I think that looks nice because everything's full of weapons. You got the cannons, you got the smaller guns at the front, you got that little scoop at the front of the tank. I mean, you might as well just attach a sword to it. But the colors look nice. I like the gray at the bottom there that looks more metallic and you know, just kind of like a machine. But then you got the green, orange, and red that kind of gives them a little bit of a flair, a little bit of a bludgeon flair, I guess. And I also love the transparent orange in the cannon, as well as the paint they're using with the orange, silver, and black to make things interesting. Taking a look at the robot mode, yes, this is kind of an awkward image, but taking a look at the robot mode, yeah, it looks pretty good. His legs look a little slim, I will say that. I prefer a chunkier design, but for a samurai bot, I think that's okay. I kind of want to pin him against my animated universe Prowl. I think that looked nice, but you can attach the cannons on the arm, obviously, but I think I'm just going to prefer them on the back because that's more of the traditional way. And the sword looks pretty cool, better off here than in tank mode where it's just slapped on. But the colors look fine. I like the shoulders. I love the head sculpt. I believe it has transparent orange for the back of the head, so you can see that through the mouth and the eyes. I think that's the perfect use of using transparent plastic, and yeah, I'm excited for this. And then we take a look at this guy. I can't remember the exact name for him, so I do apologize for that. I think it's Trashmaster or something. I could be wrong, but this is going to be a new Junkion figure, and for the first time with that weaponizer gimmick, this is going to be a Voyager class figure. So I thought that was perfect, and I love the look of this, of the, you know, trash truck type thing. I can't think of the name. I'm sorry, I'm getting real tired now, but garbage truck. There we go. But yeah, I do like the look. I like the silver touches it's got on the windows as well as everything else. I like the spikes, the chains, but of course I like the traditional colors for the Junkions with the tan, orange, and brown. Looks very cool, and I like the arms on the side there. It doesn't really look like it could do much. I mean, you can move them, but it doesn't look like there's anything you can really add on to it, so I'm not sure if there's another configuration for that, but looks pretty cool. And then we take a look at the robot mode. Now, it looks like something that should be from the Rescue Bots line, especially when you take a look at the helmet. I think that this one is going to be retooled or repainted into salvage coming up in the future, so I don't know. I think that will look fine, and I do like the claw weapon that he has. I love the head sculpt with this helmet design and that big chin. Looks very cool. I don't like the front of the truck just hanging off the back there. I'm hoping there's a way to fold that up, but I don't mind these skirt pieces that attach to the side. I think that looks nice, and yeah, I'm excited to get another Junkion. And then we take a look at the leader class figure. This is Dreadwing. So this is the Prime Universe character. Again, another figure that we've seen before because there was images floating around, but I like the yellow, the silver touches on this. I wish there was a little more yellow, but overall it's fine. The transparent red works here for the alt mode. It doesn't really work for me in the robot mode. I'm not a big fan of the chest using that much transparent red. I would have preferred yellow, but when you look at the rest of the transparent red with the little thing on the back, the eyes, and you look at the cockpit, it does make sense to use red, but I don't know. I feel like it's missing out on a lot of that yellow and gold. You got nothing going on for the legs. You got the little bit on the wings, but that's not really much. And then you got the gold on the arms. I do like that Decepticon logo, and the head sculpt looks fantastic, so I'm excited to get this because I got the Skyquake. I need to get this. And then last but not least, we've got Antagony. This has been a long rumored character to bring into Generation Selects, and we're finally seeing it for the first time. And so this is a black repaint of the Inferno figure. It's a female version of Inferno, and it looks fantastic. I love the use of purple. It seems like the eyes use a different transparency to the gun itself, and I really like how that turned out. You could also see that transparency, I think, in the back, but maybe it's just the print itself. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, the black really works. I love the purple mandibles. That looks nice. And then we take a look at her robot mode, and yeah, that looks super terrifying. I love the Inferno mold, so this is pretty cool, and yeah, I'm excited for that. And you could also swap the head for a transmetal head if you want instead, which I thought was a nice touch. I'm curious to see if they'll eventually use that for a transmetal version of Inferno, if they dive into that, but I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But as far as this is concerned, I'm happy about it. This is also the last Selects figure to be released for the year. They're obviously slowing down, which makes sense because when you look at Generation Selects and Legacy and the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line, it really feels like there's no reason to have Selects anymore. It's not that I want it to go away because they do provide some pretty cool repaints, but then you look at the Buzzworthy Bumblebee toe line, you know, and all the Diaclone repaints that is going into, you know, other lines like Shattered Glass and again, Buzzworthy Bumblebee. I don't know. But with that out of the way, that is pretty much it. What do you guys think? Please comment below. Let me know. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And we'll see you guys next time.
AllSpark TV. Now that's just